There you go, right there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Damn, I was wondering what. Hey, man, they tried to stop us from doing these classes, man. The damn internet got took out, and then like today, I'm supposed to be going somewhere right now, but I told them I'm gonna just wait till we got the show to go out to that store. To meet you.
I did a live the other day to go over that information, but we can rehash it.
Yeah, because people want. I know you did a live on it, and people wanted it. They was waiting, man. What does Brother Rod Haynes think about the dirty Moors, or who when he say dirty Moors, who are you talking about? Who is he talking about? They want to know all this stuff, man. I got the questions right here too. We want to go over those. Does all contracts have a lifespan? That's the first question on there. So we gonna get to crack it, man. Get it cracking.
Can you put the question list up?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Hold up. Let me
see the questions we dealing with today.
Okay, all right, let's do it. Okay, boom. All right, first question right here. Man, I can't blow it up, but
that's good enough. It's good.
Hold on, I didn't want to show you a number on there. Hold on. Let me see how I can do it without showing a number. Dang, hold up. Man,
copy it and paste it to the notepad.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I do. Hold up.
The number's still gonna be on there. You're doing it while you on the
Damn, hold up. Hold up. Yeah, man. I'm doing it off my phone, so because my damn laptop is crazy right now, man. That joint, I gotta get a new joint, man. Hold up. I gotta get a new joint, man. Yeah, but they probably won't be able to call you anyway, man. They doing something with the phones on that joint. All right, can you see it now? The first question: does all contracts have a lifespan?
The answer to that is definite yes. There's 3 ways to end a contract. Right? The first way is a breach of contract, meaning that one of the parties of the contract didn't hold up their end of the agreement. That's a breach of contract, which cancels the contract if the person who breaches the contract can't perform specific performance, is what it's called in law. So if they don't execute specific performance to catch the contract up, then the other party to the contract then revokes the contract. The second one is the lifespan of the contract is when both parties meet the agreement in the contract that concludes business with that contract. Right? And the third is that the contract is predicated upon a fraud. All fraudulent contracts are automatically null and void. Which takes us to the corporate contract of the United States that they was using to exercise corporate jurisdiction over the actual people of the land. Right? So this is what Taj be talking about when he say a de facto government. Right? And he telling us we the de jure. The de jure is the ones who had a right to exercise galactic law or supreme law or God's law on earth.
Hey, so would it be right to say that the inlayer made a contract with his people and it's a fraud? It's a fraud.
Look, they assume the position of color of law. Right? Just because they assume don't mean they right. All right. So we already know that their whole system is false based on the illusion that somebody else have more right to what's yours than you do. Right. So they not trying to keep it. They trying to control it as long as they can keep you from reclaiming it. How do you reclaim it? You can't use a system to reclaim it. Their system is designed that anything you do in a system proves you're an imbecile in law. Meaning that you don't know the cause of the contract. That means you can't activate any remedy. Where there is no remedy, you know what I'm saying, there can be no performance. So they already bankrupt. They've been bankrupt since the beginning. George Washington filed bankruptcy. Roosevelt filed bankruptcy in 07. That was George Dummy filed bankruptcy. It's a wrap. They don't have any means except for our people that keep contracting with their corporate entities, the dead system. So long as we don't know, until a certain amount of us know, it can't flip, but it's going to get to critical mass sooner or later.
Hey, let me make this quick announcement. Hey, if you want to show the brother Rod Haynes some love, I just posted his Cash App in the link. So you hit that Cash App, man. You want to show us some love, man. We back at it again. We back on it. This is a new month. We're gonna put in this work this month. So we got the brother on with the question and answer. Also, if you got any Moorish questions, we're gonna be taking the questions. You can drop those in the link, and I can write them down, and then we'll ask the brother at the end of the class. What else we got right there? Okay, yeah. So we good to go, man. That was the first question right there. The next question is let me pull it up real quick. Man, I can't wait till I get my new laptop, bro. Cause it's easy on the laptop. On the phone, it's like, you know. And I need a new phone too, man. Cause the phone I can't even get. I'm telling you, man. Ever since we started talking, that my phone don't even get calls anymore. I gotta go and see the missed call and then look back in the link at the joint to make sure.
Go back to your notepad.
Yeah, I'm going back to the notepad right now. All right, the second question for the Moorish questions is, what was the lifespan of the de facto corporation contract?
Okay, so they brought two contracts with them when they came. One is the contract of the Bible, right, which had a 400-year lifespan. The second contract they brought 200 years later. It had a 200-year lifespan. Right? That was the agreements we went over with George Washington that said we wouldn't know ourselves from them motherfuckers. Right? That's the 200-year contract under the legal fiction. The law was they only maintained their jurisdiction for the life of the contract because it was written in the blood of Crispus Attucks. Right? And none of the blood of righteousness be spilt in vain, and they knew that. That's why they keep murdering the chiefs. And they still ain't stopped. But they ain't gonna stop until we stop them. But we ain't gonna stop until we get unified and organized and understand what's taking place on the land.
Hey, also, we read on that last show where they said they made an oath to kill off these princes and chiefs.
Yes.
And things. We read that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we went over them. You still got them. You want to pull up the 200-year one to George Washington and then pull up the bloody oath so the newcomers can see it.
See, it's on my laptop. It ain't on my phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But hey, look, the next class we do, I'm gonna be back on the laptop because I'm getting it redone right now. So the next class we're gonna be back on the laptop so we can get back in on the pulling up the receipts. Now I can kind of pull up receipts on my phone, but it's gonna be just a little different from the laptop. You know what I'm saying? we both did this class last week.
Yep.
But damn, I'll tell you, man, they don't.
Third question.
We doing, huh?
What's the third question?
All right, third question. Let's pull it up. Let's see.
Now remember, 200 years of life of the contract. If they don't know the life of the contract, they can't do nothing about it.
Okay. All right. The third question is, once the de facto corporation contracts expire or is terminated, losing even color of law, jurisdiction, what happens to the contract when the de jure proceeds as if the contract is still active?
Okay, so they revisiting the dead contract. The more they revisit it, the longer it becomes in effect. It's only in effect because they keep revisiting the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which takes us to the fourth question.
Fourth question. Go ahead. You want me to read it?
Yeah, what is contract resurrected?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's when you keep going back to the dead contract, reactivating things in the contract that already expired. Like the demand for you to have a driver's license is expired. The demand for your Social Security account is expired. Mm-hmm. All of the contracts that control your land and wealth has expired, or they either defaulted on them. They never upheld a single contract because they knew the contract was never with the original people. And that's why they had to write the 200-year contract in the blood of Crispus Attucks. Because now the contract under the blood rights has to be fulfilled. The contract is fulfilled July the 4th, 2019. So if they don't know that the contract has been fulfilled and the de facto corporation has been removed from the land and we in transitional government, they haven't been doing their research and their background work. And they're not as tied in or in tune as they claim to be. Right? Now they showed you, we didn't already show them where they gave us everything back in the Indigenous Rights Act, remember? Right? So all we have to do is return back to our original stuff and we get to take back what's rightfully ours. Okay, now, what's the next question? Who is responsible to inform the people in the de jure capacity of the death of the contract? So whose job is that? If the Moors can't tell you whose job that is, then they're not on top of their job. Because it's any one of the chiefs on the land who discovers the anomaly is obligated to report it to his people. It's up to the people to determine the course of action to take as a collective at that point. So we bring all of the chiefs on the land together to try to resolve the matter. So now, while I'm doing the alerting of the grassroots of our people, the chiefs is in the background having discussions on restoring the land. Right? What's the next one?
Who is responsible to inform, or you already pretty much, who is responsible to inform the people in the de jure?
That's the one we get. 6. Number 6.
Okay, 6. 6 is once the contract expires, who knows the process of reclamation of jurisdiction? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So now, even if they know all the stuff we said before, do they know how to reclaim the superior jurisdiction of the de jure, which means how to restore the law of the land in place of the law of the high seas, which was the admiralty law. Right? So first we got to seize the flag of the de facto corporation, which was the admiralty flag, from their false crash or wreck, because they got us under salvage rights. The only way to be reclaimed from under the salvage right is to restore the jurisdiction of the land by staking the flag behind the flag of the Admiralty, which overthrows and occupy that seat, which was the president of the House, which was Nancy Pelosi's seat. And you remember when we went over that, right? Right. So we already did that. Then the next thing we had to do was we had to stake a totem pole because the feathers don't use flags. We use totem poles. So we showed them that, right? Remember when we showed them the totem pole being put up?
Yep, y'all. They are. That was in 2000 and it was 19, I think, 18. I mean, we showed it to them, but like, you know, so they drove it all the way across the country.
We finna go back into it. Watch this. Go to the next question.
Okay. 7. It's were you aware that I seized the Federal Reserves on August the 19th, 2019? Right? They don't know nothing about that. Click that so they can see the post. Got it. Okay, there we go.
What that say? The key to America was in the contract of the dollar bill. The contract stemmed from treaties Moors made with nations of Europe. No one could buy or sell without going through central banks using the markers or the mark that represent an IOU, which is an acronym for IOU, established an automatic debt equals slavery, which is concealed in the 14th Amendment, right? Now this is, look at the date, August 19th, 2019, right? All right. And this is how we put it in the public domain right here. Right? The 14th Amendment strips away the unalienable rights the God, that is Queen of Heaven and Earth, has given you as providence. When the banks, by way of Zionist Jews, or as we say, satanic Jews, are traced back, we get to the Crown of England, first city-state. Then you discover she maintains her economic control by renting the land her company sits on through her royal court of barristers, bar members, judges, and lawyers who trade your soul in bonds we call certificate of live birth, as in birthing the canal, portal of life, harbor, etc. Right? We don't got to read it all, but this was claiming the key. Go down to the pictures.
Oh, shit, son.
When I seized that, I also seized the Catholic Church. You see it?
Yeah.
All right, you see where that number 3 at? Click that picture and you're going to see them praying to the Moor. They're going to actually be praying to the Black Madonna.
Right there.
Right? Now that's both popes. Francis and Benedict. You remember the movie Tale of Two Popes? That's it. Scroll down some more. Look at a couple more of them. See, the pictures have to be present to prove the point. These are the receipts. Keep scrolling.
All right, that's the bottom one right there.
Okay, so now, those are the priestly ruler implements. So you had to seize that to seize the Vatican. Right? So it's all in the post. Now let's go back to the question. Let's go to the next question. They wasn't aware that we seized the Pope, the Vatican, Buckingham Palace, and DC on August the 19th, 2019. Right? Were you aware of the transfer of the Admiralty jurisdiction by law to flag occupation and reclamation by the shaman on January the 6th, 2020? Click the post. What Nancy Pelosi got over her finger?
You sank my effing battleship. Or you sank my effing battleship.
Right. You see my man sitting behind the desk?
Yeah.
He is a trained shaman by the original people of the earth. He was trained and he was recruited by QAnons to do this the seizure of the post of Nancy Pelosi. Once he done that, he seized the admiralty jurisdiction by occupying
that is heavy.
By occupying the seat of power, the seat of government. Remember, the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's not the president of the political body. She was. So he had to seize her admiralty flag jurisdiction by occupying her seat with the law, with the flag of the land, so we can re-implement the law from the land. And that's when we had to put the totem pole in the public domain right up in DC to reclaim that 10 square mile crash site as indigenous land. All right, what's the next question?
Oh yeah, this is, I'm gonna look up that Sherman shit, that's heavy. Okay, we on 9.
Were you aware the transfer of land from republic to tribal occurred with a totem pole ceremony, which we just got done talking of, to establish Washington, D.C. as tribal jurisdiction for purposes of the Indigenous Rights Act? Click the post.
Let's click the post.
Since they say I don't have no receipts, I don't know where did all this shit come from.
Let me Native Americans bring totem pole across Capitol to raise awareness. There you go.
When you do the research, you're gonna find that it came all the way across the country. You see him blessing it?
Tape.
You see him doing the smudge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You see you see they in DC. You see the White House.
Yeah.
Right. So they showing you all of it right here. What'd he say? We trying to unite to protect sacred land, sacred sites, land and places, and think this is a good way to do it and bring in all the tribes kind of coalesce around this totem pole while we have many different cultures. You know, these like 565 tribes in the United States.
Uh-huh.
Didn't I say all tribes united, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 565 of them. That's just in the United States. That's not counting what we call Mexico or Canada. Right? But we still got other tribes from as far away as the southernmost point of South America to the northernmost point of the Canadian boundaries. All right, let's go to the next question.
Okay, I got you. Next question is number 10. Were you aware I have a birthright and a duty to the collective of reclaiming and restoring the tribal rules on all tribal land? And it's all tribal lands.
And this would be the video. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me talking, but you look at the
might not, but they can check that video. I'll try to put that link in the description.
Yeah, put the link in the description so they can check it out.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the link to all the questions in that description.
Yeah. So they can see them for themselves. But you seen the date on the video, right? Right, because I had to explain to them that I was exercising my blood rights to reclaim the land, because I'm bound to the land by blood, by birthright, and I'm also raised to the position through the priesthood. But we ain't talking about no Christian. We talking about the organic indigenous priesthood. Right? So my job was to find out what was going on the land. He just say that the contract expired, right? And when was this? July the 6th, 2019, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when they go back and listen to it, they'll know what they listening to. This is all of the tribes of the earth got together that came up with this. Go to your can you pull up the Bang Dong conference on your Google on your phone?
Yeah, let me do it. Hakeem, get down and leave it alone. Hey, what's it called? A bang?
Yep.
Bangkok?
D-O-N-G. Bing, no, bang, and another word, space,
Say that
and
last
right.
word again.
D-O-N-G.
D-O-N-G. Okay.
There go the second one. Now, this is when we all got together all of the Earth tribes got together in 1955. You see it right there?
Yeah.
In 1955, in West Java, in Indonesia, to come up with a plan to fight some shit called white supremacy. You see what it say? The first large-scale Asian, African, and Afro-Asian conference, also known as the Bandung Conference, was a meeting of Asian and African states, but we was there too, most of which were newly independent, which took place April the 18th to 24th, 1955.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we decided to fight back in the smartest way possible. And everybody contributed to us being able to put the pieces together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good shit. Hey, so cause we answered all the questions. Now let me ask you this question about the Moors, because the people have been asking me. I hear people make a lot of comments on our tapes.
Okay, let's go back to regular face to face.
Okay. Oh, she hope it ain't delete that. All right, there you go. All right, there you go. Hey, so one of the questions they had was who, I think you already answered this on one of the tapes. I think I heard you answer it, but just for clarity, they want to know who is Rod Haynes talking about when he talk about the dirty Moors. You know,
anybody that's trying to get you to recontract with the dead entity, knowing that this shit is over with, right? Mm-hmm. The ones who call themselves free white persons in law when they get done doing their paperwork.
Hey, what's the game on it? The free white person.
That's what your status is as a noble once you do the paperwork, and then you get your corporate status. And in order for you to be exempt from the UCC jurisdiction as a rebel, you sign on to become one of the slave catchers by funneling people in to do paperwork, but you're going to do it faulty, but you're going to charge them a fee.
Damn.
The paperwork going to be faulty out the gate. Because the corporation is faulty. Anybody that's aware that you cannot go to a lesser rank to validate your higher rank. The legal fiction is not us.
Mm-hmm.
So when you try to assert your legal fiction straw man's authority and jurisdiction, you automatically are telling the people, the barristers, judges, prosecutors, and attorneys that you are an imbecile in law, which automatically makes you a ward of the court. Right? Anything that's going to render you a ward of the court and somebody is getting you trapped in that cycle, that's a dirty Moor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that get trapped in that cycle end up in motherfucking federal prison, or they end up being free white persons in law and become slave catchers.
That shit is deep.
I told you the white man ain't fucking white. They came over here as conquistadors. They got kicked out of Europe, and they exiled them to Al-Maghrib. When they exiled them to Al-Maghrib, they knew they couldn't stay there because they already got kicked out of Africa when they established their rule in Rome. That's why they was there. right? Because they got kicked out of the motherland. So then when they got kicked out, they went north into Europe and interrupted the civilizations in Europe. And they came in with the same blood rituals, blood rites, adrenochrome, and they got kicked out because the people couldn't tolerate it no more. Right? These are red shoe rituals, your bloody shoe rituals, blood on the dance floor, blood on the wall, all that shit. Right? So this is what they into that's getting them kicked out everywhere they go. Babylonian blood magic, Babylonian money magic. They got murder cults, right? Where they exercise the papal secret order to murder the kings, princes, and people of the land. Right? It's all in the public domain. We done already showed all that shit. Now they sit in the lodges, right? And they tried to keep us out of the lodges by blocking the door with pale faces. So we never knew that the people behind it looked like me and you. But they not us. They a different group of people altogether, and they're not from here. So they can't stay. Had they won the war between the Fezzes and the Feathers, then they would have won and took over everything. And we would have forever been their slaves. I didn't feel like being nobody's slave for the rest of eternity. So I decided to step up, speak up, put this shit in the public domain and tell y'all how to find them. Watch what we do. When we organize peacefully, right? And we start to congregate, they're going to come in with bullshit in the comments that don't have anything to do with nothing you're talking about. Right? They're going to be the lowest ranked motherfuckers, but they swear they know the most shit. Right? And then they're going to run up on motherfuckers with knowledge and get that shit bust upside the head. Them the dirty Moors. Remember, it was Fezzes against Feathers. So in order for us to win, the Feathers got to beat the Fezzes. Right? And how do you do that? The Feathers has to seize a Fez. These are the ones we call the righteous Moors. Because they're fighting in the cause of righteousness in the middle of a dogmatic doctrine that was created to be dogmatic on purpose, because when you get caught in the dogma, you forget about the lingo from the land. The wind talkers are the chief. And when Noble Drew Ali put it on the record that he was a high chief, I know anything that he write is going to be heavily coded. And if you don't know the lingo, you're not going to be able to decode it. Right? So when we talk about dirty Moors, we're not talking about all Moors. Because some of the modern Moors, I call them, is us, who went in to have a knowledge fight with the dirty Moors. And they won. Right? And now they can proudly display fezzes on their feathers. Right? Because they knocked him for his noble status. Right? And normally how we win is we be telling the truth and we catch them in a bucket of lies because they don't know our lingo. Right? They're not really lying. They just living in the dogma. And Albert Pike already told you it was going to come down to the morals versus the dogma in their system. Because he had to tell you everything that they was about to do. Read Morals and Dogma, and all of this shit is laid all the way out from A to Z.
Yeah, I think I got that book over there.
It's all laid out from A to Z. Pop's been telling us to get it for years. It was in the old Ansar editions. This how long that we've been studying this book just in my little circle. My little circle is new to this shit. Right? We came in the 90s doing research. These other people have been doing research since forever and they don't know shit. Then I got messages dropped from Dr. John Henry Clark. Right? He got a whole lecture called Exactly What is a Jew? But you don't even know what you're listening to if you don't know how we talk on the land, that country shit. Right? Because them country folks be talking over them city slickers' head, but they think they dumb.
Yeah.
Right? And we be laughing at the city slicker thinking we dumb while we got him thinking he winning all the time. He ain't out slicking nobody but himself. And so, Elder trying to get the baby together, get the baby under control.
Then look, hey, look, this dude, like he tearing up my stuff, man. While if I, I can't get to him while I'm talking right now. So he going after all my good stuff.
Yeah, he's trying to get your attention. That's all. He want daddy attention.
Yeah, but I be with him all day long.
I know. It don't matter. Remember when you was little? And when I was little, my daddy was like God. When dad walked in, I wanted to be right there where he was at because I wanted to learn how to be God too.
Yeah. My other boy, Haru, he got his Switch, Nintendo Switch with Mario and Sonic. I don't hear from him no more. But my baby, he always, if I go outside, he gotta go. If I'm going in the truck, he gotta go. If I'm going to the bathroom, he gotta go. He gotta be right there.
That's a Blue Lies Daddy's boy right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his middle name Malachi, so he my angel. My angel, Malachi.
That's what's up. Yeah.
So he makes sure, and then he makes sure if he see me doing everything I do, he do. So I can't do nothing bad in front of this dude, like drink a beer or something like that, because he gonna be wanting to drink. He gonna be wanting
right.
to
That's what they call that learning by osmosis. He trying to imitate everything you do so he can be just like you.
Yeah, I love my baby Hakeem. Oh yeah, that's another question, because somebody asked this question about and I already know you probably already covered it, but they said one lady said, and I just worded like this: how do you feel about Noble Drew Ali? Because some people saying, and these people probably don't even know nothing about Noble Drew Ali who's saying this. Noble Drew Ali, he was down with us, of course. I mean, what was your opinion on that? But is Noble Drew Ali, was he down with us? I already,
Okay, so first and foremost, if it wasn't for Noble Drew Ali, we wouldn't know what's going on the land. Period. We would know half the story because Prince Hall gave us the first half of the story, the blue side. But the red side, if it wasn't for Noble Drew Ali, we wouldn't know jack shit about what was going on in the Moorish Zionist temple with the blood rituals and the blood rites that was keeping us suppressed. Right? So he was definitely down with the team. He was definitely a soldier. He was definitely a warrior for the righteous. Because without that, we couldn't put this shit back together. Right? So that tell me that he had to be all for us. Because he put his life on the line and lost it for this struggle. Ain't no motherfucking traitor gonna put his life on the line for this struggle. Right? So we already know all of the ones who they murdered because they putting their life on the line to get us out of the condition. Well, Farrakhan came to us and said, we ain't gonna let no more our leaders get just murdered like that. Right? So the FOI first had to get rid of the traitors they had. So Wallace decentralized, remember? And then Farrakhan single-handedly rebuilt it, but he didn't just rebuild it, he handpicked everybody. He already knew who he was getting in his inner circle because he knew who the traitors was, because Malcolm drug them all out. Right? But we don't know what's going on because we don't know how to read the lingo. But Malcolm dragged them out and called them by name in the public domain. That tell you who they loyalists are by knowing who they are. And when you know who they are and who they loyalists are, you know who not to pick from. And that's why he was able to be successful without getting murdered this long, because they can't touch him. He set his shit up right. Right? And he married to the grand matriarch on the land. So that make you persona non grata. Keep your hands off Farrakhan. Now you got a lot of people that think that he might have sold out because he been in the Masonic lodges and all that shit. But they don't know if we don't go in there to get this shit out, we can't unravel what they doing to our children. So if he did go into the Masonic lodge to talk to them motherfuckers and get this shit out, because it's already out in the public. Elijah sent Clarence one way. He sent Raj Wahai's dumbass another way, and he got tricked. He sent motherfucking Hulan Mitchell, aka Yahweh Ben Yahweh, in a different direction. He got to cover all of the bases. Trace these dudes back and find out where their influence come from. H-Rap Brown, Stokely Carmichael, Fred Hampton, motherfucking Bobby Seale, and motherfucking what's that nigga name? They all was Malcolm loyalists. They had all made allegiances with Malcolm based on his moves. Ryan Karinga, all them motherfuckers. They all taking sides with Malcolm, and they willing to take the Nation of Islam to war about this shit. But then they find out they got infiltrated by the same motherfuckers that the Nation did. And them niggas was niggas because you couldn't infiltrate none of them black organizations unless you look like us. So that exposed the infiltrators, and then it take you right back to the parable of the elders that say, get rid of the enemy within, because once you get rid of the enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. So now we got to find these inside traitors, right? So they got a calling card, right? They always sliding up under a motherfucker making moves so they can tear down the leader. That's how you know who that is. They got to tear down the leader. And then they're going to put themselves in the spotlight like they the shit, but they ain't nothing but shit, right? So then you find out Jesse Jackson them all implemented in the assassination with the government of Martin Luther King, and you like, holy shit, what the fuck? It's in the lawsuit, pull it up. Coretta done won. The government has been found guilty of the assassination of Martin Luther King in civil court. Go read the motherfucking transcript. And then you're going to be surprised at the niggas that was standing with Martin, walking with Martin, talking that motherfucking we shall overcome shit was the ones behind helping the government to set his ass up.
That's a fact.
Right? So it wasn't no pink motherfuckers that set him up. Right? So we can't blame them for that. We can't blame them for Malcolm. We can't blame them for Clarence. We know who killed Clarence. Same motherfuckers, the Dirty Moors. Look just like us. Because wasn't no pale faces finna go over there where he was at. With no motherfucker talking about shooting him. They would have never got away.
Hey, so these dirty Moors are the ones that trying to stop us from claiming making the proclamations and the claims. So it sound like to me.
They don't want us to do that because it bumps them off the land. They have nowhere to go. It bumps them off the land when the ones that's from the land take their feds, they stuck, they ass out.
Hey, so long as they can wear their feds, they can be in disguise as us. They can disguise themselves as us. But once we take their feds off, they ass out.
So now you have a group of trained Moors called Peace Stones. Right? That's their job to figure out who the dirty Moors is, who the righteous Moors. It's what you call family business. That's their family business. I'm from the Blue Lodge. It really don't have nothing to do with me other than I'm obligated to tell the people who the dirty hands is behind the scene, the black hand under the KKK robe. Right? If I wasn't obligated, I wouldn't be telling them. I wouldn't even be saying nothing about them because that's not my family tree. Right? My king is Hoover. Right? But I got to respect all of the chiefs on the land. There's 3 high chiefs on the land. Right? And they putting this shit back in order. So I don't have to worry about who the dirty Moors is or none of that. That's Angel Bay job. He have to clean that shit up. But if he want me to give him a hand, I ain't got no problem with it. You understand what I'm saying? But that's his family business. He have to clean that shit up. So what he say, go, and that's just gonna be the end of it. Ain't nobody getting in their family business. The righteous Moors gonna clean the dirty Moors up. They know who they is. That's not my job. I'm not under their doctrine. I don't ascribe to Moorish science as my primary doctrine. I describe to growth and development. However, I was an understudy in a Moorish science. That means I studied under their sciences until I figured it out. And then I seen what Noble Drew Ali was saying, because he left codes in the Circle 7. And because I knew what the codes was and what to look for, I was able to find my message, right? And go straight to who he tell me to look for, Angel Bay. He told me that. That's a message from the grave, nigga, from 1929 to now. That message got to me. Angel Bay is the man. That's what he told me. And then when I do the research and the background on him and match, because my mama told me Angel Bay that's his job too. And she been knowing him since he was a teenager. So she told me that was his job. She said, I don't know what's wrong. Why they got him and Larry in there? They can't clean up the streets from in there. That's what my mama told me. I said, what you mean? She says that's their job. They was born to clean the streets up in Chicago. In turn, it's going to affect the whole Midwest and the rest of the country. Big Tookie and it had to go clean that shit up on the West Coast. Right? That's not my job. I'm not a Crip. I'm growth and development. But I can tell you who responsible and who have to answer to the people and who have to clean shit up. Ain't nobody getting out here without cleaning their shit up. I don't give a fuck who you is. That go for me too. That don't make me no better than nobody else. If I don't get this shit done, I can't go nowhere till we figure this shit out. So I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the pieces to the puzzle. Put this motherfucking shit together. These niggas don't belong here. They look like us. They not us. They call themselves the white man. They recognize as a free white person in law under the corporation that jurisdiction we've been subjugated under because of a blood ritual 200 years ago. The ritual expired July the 4th, 2019. I immediately seized our motherfucking position because that's my job. Now that the position is seized, it's up to us now to demand the three kings come give us the report of what's the fuck going on the land. As far as the Moors go, that's not my job to clean that shit up. That's between Taj, Angel Bay, and the rest of them. That's not my house to clean up. I'm just telling you they got infiltrated, and who the infiltrators was, they know them as dirty Moors. I call them dirty Moors. Farrakhan called them satanic Jews. The same motherfuckers. They know who infiltrated they shit, trying to mislead the people and fleece the flock, because they'll tell you they know. They can call the name of the dirty grand sheiks off the top of their head on the other side of the country. They know who they is because they didn't got the reports from the congregation. That's not my cleanup. I got to go help Larry whatever he need me to fucking do. Right now, he got me out here, little drummer boy, come to drum major, lead these motherfuckers to the motherfucking water. You ain't got to make them drink. You just got to tell them where the water at. It's up to them whether they want to take a drink. So I'm telling y'all, the water, right, is out in the motherfucking open as soon as y'all see it. That's not a mirage. This shit is over. The corporate structure is why in the fuck do Joe Biden live in Delaware if he's the president supposed to be in DC? Can anybody explain that shit other than what I done already explained, that DC shit is over with? Right? So we know what it is. Dinglesville and them, they got to go clean that shit up. I don't have to clean up one motherfucking more. Clean ones or the dirty ones. That's not my job. My job is to tell them who gonna clean that shit up and he got to be a Moor.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Bay is the one got to clean it up, because that's the one Noble Drew Ali left in the paperwork was gonna clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
He matched the blueprint. So I followed the instructions and I'm telling the people.
Hey man, I can tell I like your haircut. I think you and Mike Tyson might be from the same tribe, some kind of way, man. That's on the same.
That's just that's because you see Warrior the same. When you look at him and you look at me, you see Warrior.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got another
but
question for you.
He from his clan is the Browns.
Okay.
Right. That's who Cleveland named after. That tribe. The tribe was the Browns. It's a big ass tribe. They all down off in Mississippi, all the way up into Ohio, going into Michigan, going around the Detroit area. It's a big family of them. That's a big ass tribe.
That's good stuff. I'm gonna look that up. Hey, I got another question for you, because all this is stemming around the Moor Saints. Now, I see the gas prices going up. I see like everything getting high. Hey, how does this play a part in us claiming? Does this us claiming this property back and getting everything back in order? Is that part of it?
Okay.
This system?
Yeah, because the people got to get fed up with the structure and the system that's in place to the point where they disassociate. Right? They become so aware that, well, what's taking place. So let me tell you why gas prices and shit is going up. It's not going up because it's a shortage. It's going up because they system and the people they were under are no longer in the position to continuously provide the crude. Right? So we didn't seize all of the oil wells on the earth. The people of the earth seize everything. So now all they can do is use their reserves up. As the reserves lessen, what's the law of business? Supply and demand, right? As the supply diminishes and the demand remains the same, it shoots the price up. If the demand increases, the price will go even higher. And as what they have on surplus begin to decrease, it forces the prices up. Now remember, they got to get rid of all GMO foods. This is going to cause a temporary food shortage, right? But remember, the Nation of Islam been doing a farming program since the 90s. They are in wait right now to be able to provide food substance support for the people in the communities, right? Because unlike those other farmers that was being paid not to farm, they had nothing to do with the government. So they can't say anything about them because Mother Khadijah is organic to the land and they know who she is. So when she gave them, she told them to start getting the farmland and learning farming and teaching that stuff, industrial farming and stuff back in the 90s, because we have to be able to feed our people. Ain't nobody else doing it. Garvey gone. Dubois gone. Malcolm gone. Martin gone. Fred Hampton gone. Mark Clark gone. John Africa gone. Asada Shakur in exile. Mumia locked up. Right? Malachi locked up. All of the motherfucking leaders that's organic to the land locked up or dead. Except for Mother Khadijah. And she can send her husband to do the bidding on behalf of the matriarchy, because Elijah already made it clear. They can rise no higher than his women. Right? You raise the matriarchy and you establish her position as the queen of heaven and earth, God on earth. The queen God seat, 13. Queen mother. Right? The Black Madonna. You see how the Pope know what the Pope know what's up. They just don't want to admit it openly.
Yeah, the Pope know what's going down.
Right. So, they had a black Pope, a white Pope, and a gray Pope. What the fuck is that shit? That's some real secret society ass shit. Right? So when we followed the pirates, we followed their flag. What did they have on their flag? Skull and crossbones, right? So we shut that shit down. And they got a mirror organization in Oxford called the Scroll and the Key. So now we know where all of their motherfucking soldiers is being funneled through academia so that they not subject to this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So we
Hey,
know what's up.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead.
I heard you say that, and other people heard you, that and I kind of got an idea because you talked about it on the last class, but I heard you say that Joe Biden is now staying in Delaware. Could you go in on that a little bit more for the people that's new?
That's where he live at. He been living in Delaware. And matter of fact, go back to a couple of days ago. Well, it ain't really Joe Biden, first of all. That's just this storyline that they running in the public to pretend that motherfucker's still here. One of his lookalikes is in Delaware. And they had a plane failed to report or be on the right channel to get the instructions for flight pattern. And it looked like it was flying over the Joe Biden's location. So they took the clone, lookalike, robot, whatever the fuck he is, and they took him to the firehouse and put him in the firehouse until they were sure that it was no threat on his life. So they telling you that he don't even live in DC, he live in Delaware. That's a blatantly let you know that what Rod Hayes is saying is all wise, right, and exact.
Hey, they said, I hear the Moors talk about that they filed some type of paperwork in Delaware to make people chattel property or slaves or paperwork slaves.
That paperwork is everywhere. But remember, Delaware was the first so-called state, right? Delaware is the only state where you can be what they call sole incorporator. You can incorporate your company as a sole proprietor, but you get corporation status. You got to go through Delaware to do that, right? And a lot of the laws are different for Delaware being the first state because the rules apply to the Virginia company, right? So Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, or what they call the Delmarva Peninsula, is what they call Virginia territory for the Virginia company before it merged. You see, it merged with the Northwest Trading Company and became known as the United States Inc. That's so we would never know what the fuck happened. I'm just too goddamn nosy to not let that shit go. I ask the question until I find the answer. Who is these motherfuckers on the land and where did they come from and how was they set up? Because if you don't know how they set up, you can't get them off the land. If you don't know about the contract, the life of the contract, and how to restore the jurisdiction after the contract, then you need to sit your ass down because you ain't reached your motherfucking adept level yet. Right? So until you can go through the chambers where you see that shit clearly, there's nothing for you to say but sit back and enjoy the ride and wait for these motherfucking pea stones to clean that shit up. You on mute. You on mute.
Okay, my bad. Damn, how the hell I get on mute? Okay, what I was about to ask you, all right, based on your analyzation of this and your perspective of this, how long do you think we got to put up with this type of system? Like, because like we see it fade out, we see the prices gonna rise, all that, right? And this system is fading out. They shut down DC. They had, man, look, a lot of stuff you told me on that last tape about the Queen Elizabeth, right? About her passing away. They had a damn party at the Buckingham Palace to celebrate her life, to celebrate her passing. And they didn't say that she passed. They just celebrated it, like celebrating her life and her coming up. And this lady is nowhere to be found.
They had a lookalike. they had one of those actresses that looked like Queen Elizabeth. It's like 4 actresses, 3 or 4 of them. But they had one of the actresses push the Jubilee ball. You know, so but if anybody that ever seen her know that ain't her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had that party, man. Look, I seen it. Look, man, look, it was a confirmation for me. When I was sitting down on the couch yesterday and I was just changing the channels and I watched a channel in Great Britain where they had this big old party. And I was like, damn. And then they were showing like stuff through Queen Elizabeth's life. And I said, oh shit, this is what Rob Haynes is talking about right here. This is what Rob Haynes is talking about. She's dead, and they celebrating her life, her children and all them, they celebrating her life to have these different things. So all this stuff is just, everything is happening right now, man. So what do, like, for the average individual on the streets and a guy that's listening in, what part do they play in this? Like how do they like, we ain't got to claim our nationality on paper. All we got to do is, to me, all we got to do is know it in your brain and be able to use it when you need to use it. So what do they have to do? What are we supposed to be doing now as a people, besides the leaders? I know like the tribal leaders, they doing their parts, but as an individual, as a member of the tribe, what are we supposed to be doing now as far as what's happening now with the government and everything, to shut down all this?
We're supposed to just disassociate from the current system, right? So the reason that is called abandoning the contract, right? You abandon the contract when fraud is discovered. When you being made party to the fraud, you being putting yourself to be subject to the prosecution of the fraudulent agents who enacted the contract. When you become aware of the fraud, but you continue with the contract, you make yourself part of the ones committing the fraud. So they will swoop you up under RICO in order to take everything you got, even though that law is not in effect, right? But they'll use it because you being part to the contract, and the contract has already been discovered to be a fraud. So you want to separate from, don't get no motherfucking driver's license. Don't participate in their system. Any way you can avoid it. This shit got to become, it has to reach critical mass of awareness is all it is. We on a Juneteenth campaign to tell the people that this shit already over, right? And from the 13th to the 19th, Juneteenth. It's one of them goddamn days, right? So we just telling the people now, hey, this shit over with. These kings these chiefs on the land have to come forward and tell us what's going on the land. What consensus did the chieftains come to? What did the big mamas tell us to do? Right? My job is to tell y'all who the chiefs on the land is supposed to give us the report. And the law enforcement of the land is supposed to be Chief Malik Angel Bay. Whatever he say that them red motherfuckers is gonna tear shit up. When they say the streets covered in blood, they mean bloods. He sent T. Rogers out there to make alliance with Blood Nation on the West Coast for a reason. Right? But motherfuckers don't even know who T. Rogers is, and they looking at me like, who the fuck is that? Right? So the chiefs across the land all in on this shit. We just have to come to the awareness as a collective of what's taking place on the land. You ain't freeze up over there, did you, Elder?
Hey,
I don't know
man,
what happened.
they in on us, man. You dropped some good shit, man. Hey, they cut me. Look, it just went blank. and then it just came back on just now. Like, I don't know what the hell. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
I was still talking. I just stopped for a second because I looked like you had froze over there.
Man, that thing went to some crazy joint, man.
You got any more questions before we wrap it up?
Okay, yeah, because I gotta get ready to go to the store. I told my wife I was gonna be going about 7 o'clock, so we got like 20 minutes. All right, so yeah, like I said, I posted the brother Rod Haynes Cash App in the link, man. So if you want to show him some love, you know, I sent him a little bit of some, but I don't got much money, man. So, but if you can show him some love, that'd be cool. He don't do it for no money, man. But it's. I like to show the brother some love and when he come out. And but if you got any questions about the more science of the topic to the brother Rod Haynes, this is the best time to get it out, man. So drop them in that chat, man. Drop them in that chat right now if you want to got a question about dealing with the moral science or the Moorish doctrine or just Native American culture. Period over here on the land. You got any questions, man? Drop them in the comments right now. We're gonna be ready to take them, man, so we can see what's cracking. Because don't ask no stupid question, but ask a question that people can benefit from it more than you can benefit from it. Are we Moors too? Are we Moors too?
Traditionally, we not Moors.
Okay.
Right. Traditionally, we weren't Moors. Matter of fact, traditionally, they wasn't Moors either. Moor was the term we was fighting over. Right. It's a catch term.
Mm-hmm.
When you do the etymology, it's gonna take you to multiple places.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a catch term. A catch term is a term used to roll a whole bunch of ideas under one banner. It's like there's no documents before Columbus came of the word Moor anywhere on the land.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right. So we weren't calling ourselves Moors. We was identifying ourselves by tribal distinctions, such as the Muskogee tribe and the Iroquois, the different tribes across the land, Choctaw, Cherokee. Then you got sub-tribes that spin off those lines. And we would identify ourselves like that. We didn't identify ourselves by crayon colors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even though they had a color called Indian red, we still didn't identify ourselves as colors. Mm-hmm. We looked at ourselves as being caretakers of the earth, one with the earth, one with the universe. They separated us from the earth and the universe and tried to separate us from our families. This is why we're in the condition we're in. Mm-hmm. As soon as you become one with the earth, one with the universe again, all this shit gonna be so clear to you that you ain't gonna need Rod Hayes to tell you shit. I'm just telling you the anomalies I see on the land. Who responsible for the cleanup in what areas? Right? So it's like I don't get offended if the Moors get offended, because the good Moors don't necessarily even have to know what they're doing. But the dirty Moors know exactly what's taking place, but they ain't gonna say nothing in public because they got a death oath that if they ever tell it in the public domain, they get murdered. Where our oath is a little different. Our oath to our people is whichever one of you motherfuckers find something that affect the whole clan or multiple clans, you got to tell the people what you discovered so that they can make up their mind what they want to do about it. See, my job ain't to make their mind up for them. My job is to give them the information and tell them where to look. Right? Show them what I'm talking about so they have a frame of reference. Right? So when they make their mind up, shit change. Shit don't change until the collective make their mind up. That's why they say be the change you want to see.
Hey, somebody asked a question about the three kings. They said if the three kings don't be released from prison, what is the outcome? Like, is that gonna play? Is that gonna affect what's happening?
In the public domain, they haven't told us yet. But all of the signs say they are at continuity government, which is also in Colorado at a place called Raven Rock. You want to pull up Raven Rock so they can see what it look like?
Yeah, let me pull it up for you. I just hope my damn phone go dead, bro. We going on a good roll here. I got my people outside waiting on me though. I told them give me about 15 minutes. Let's see. Share my screen. It's called Raven
Rock.
All right, Raven Rock. That sounds like some Native Americans type of shit right there, boy. Raven Rock.
Yep. RAVEN-ROCK.
Spell it again.
RAVEN space.
Okay.
ROCK.
Oh yeah, just like a Raven Bird Rock. Okay.
See where it say Raven Rock Mountain, the second one down?
Okay, that's the one I'm supposed to pull up.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Shit, you can't even see what's going on because it's an underground bunker. That's actually a pyramid.
Yeah.
Now they got a logo.
Go to the complex. The Raven Rock Mountain Complex. That tells you it's underground.
Also known as Site R, is a U.S. military installation with an underground nuclear bunker near Blue Ridge Summit, Pennsylvania, at Raven Rock Mountain. That has been called. This is a different one. This one in Pennsylvania. Oh, your battery about to go. You got 2%.
Yeah, man. I'm about to have to get off, man, because I got these people outside waiting on me, man. I wish we would but we could do it. We could do like a part 2 to this, either tomorrow or the next day, whenever you're free.
Yeah.
But at least we covered the 10 questions that we had to get off, and we got a couple more questions out. Yeah, but my phone about to get ready to go dead right now, y'all. I'm gonna make sure I'm real, because really this right here was a spur of the moment deal, because I had forgot about that I had told you today, and I thought it was 6, but it's 5 my time, 6 your time, so I forgot about the hour difference. Hey, but we're gonna thank you for coming out though, brother. I'm gonna get ready to get out because it's gonna go dead, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, look, I'm gonna hook you up, but I'm gonna get with you where we could get back on, because this right here is an interesting topic, man. I got a lot of questions, and then I already know all the stuff that's in your head about it. That it'll clear a lot of stuff up that people be asking me all day long, because I don't really know that much about them. I just know a little about the moral science. I just started studying moral science probably like about 5 years ago.
I've been studying it since '95.
Yeah, so you've been studying longer, almost. I was like 10 years old then. So like you've been studying for a long time on the moral science. Me, I've been studying and listening to the people that Bible told me to go check out Taj Tariq Bey, Hakeem Bey. So I've been listening to those brothers. And then Freeman Hill. And when I heard you gave me a whole, man, you increased my knowledge, because you gave me a whole nother perspective on looking at this thing. And I love your perspective. Just made my whole view bigger. It made my view bigger than what it was. It bigged up it again, because now I'm saying, okay, this shit is, these niggas trying to force contracts on us. They trying to do all this shit. A lot of stuff going on in my head. You know what I'm saying? So I love your perspective. I love the way you look at things, the way you say it, and the way you call it. Because like my granddaddy said, call it like you see it, right? If it's a spade, that's a damn spade. You know, whatever it is. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, man, we about to get ready to get off, man. So I can go ahead and take my wife up into the stove, because she got to go to a meeting at 8:00. So I got to go to the stove and be back for her time to get to the thing on stove.
Oh, for sure. We got a nice little run in here. We got close.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So right, man. We do it again.
All right, that's right. We're gonna be on sometime this week again, and we're gonna probably. I mean, we might have another topic, but we'll cover some of the stuff that we missed in this one. But I think you pretty much answered the questions that we needed to get out. So, man, we want to thank you for coming out, Brother Rod. Like I said, I'm gonna leave his links in the descriptions to his IG, and I'm gonna post the links to those the ones that we looked up in the comments, and I'm gonna post his Cash App in the comments if you ain't get a chance to show him some love. So we're gonna get ready to sign out, man. Islam, peace, love, hotel, Shug, divine love, all through the boundless universe to all. Wadu.
Wadu.